We're going to take a look at proofs with parallel and transversal lines. So we're going to go ahead and make a tab. Pause the video and copy each example down as I scroll. There are only two steps that you need for this one. The first one is copy/draw the picture. And then the second one is label each sentence in your picture as you go. Use numbers for angles and say why. This is a listening check. Put a circle around 1. Alright, so copy or draw the picture. Now I've already copied it down, and so if you then label each sentence with numbers. So I did forget to put this. Go ahead and put arrows in the question there. Alright, so RT is parallel to UW. How do I know that? Because of these little pink things. Okay, so it's given in the question. Angle SVU, so SVU, and you're going to label that 1. You're going to use numbers because the letters are hard to keep track of. So I'm going to write that down. Angle 1 is congruent to QSR. So name that angle 2. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Why is that? Again, these are all the reasons that you're going to find. So it's actually corresponding. You should know this by now. So angle 1 and angle 2 are corresponding. Let me show you why. If you take your pen and you move it up, it's going to be in the same place. So corresponding postulate is the reason why. And all postulate means, because it's the first time I'm telling you about it, is a proven fact. This is a listening check. Underline the word reason. Alright, number 3, QSR, which is the same as the QSR over there, so that's angle 2, is congruent to TSV. So TSV, you're going to name that 3. It's congruent to 3. And why? Why is 2 congruent to 3? Obviously, they're vertical angles. And again, you just put the word postulate there. So that's a fact. Alright, and then why is SVU, and SVU was a number 2, so that's angle 1, congruent to TSV, which is a number 3, which is angle 3. Why is 1 equal to 3? Alright, so this is the video we just completed. So we're going to turn back to that and look at the different ones. So if it was reflexive, it would be a mirror. If it was symmetry, it would be x equals y, y equals x, but it's not that. So it's transitive. I'm just going to put numbers. When you have 1 is equal to 2 and 2 is equal to 3, then 3 is equal to 1, or 1 is equal to 3. So this is the situation we have here, and so that's transitive. Transitive property of. Now, to get which one it is, you need to remember the definitions. Equality has numbers, congruence doesn't. There's no numbers here, so it's congruence. That's pretty much it. So it's not hard, it's just the statement and why. But you need to copy down the picture. Alright, so here's another question. Why is SU parallel to VX? Because it's given in the question. It's in the first sentence. Alright, TWX, let's label that 1. Is congruent to RTU, label that 2. Why are those congruent? So again, you should be able to see this. If not, you need to do the videos 1 through 5 again. They're corresponding angles. And I'm going to be a little bit lazy and not say corresponding angles postulate and just write corresponding. Just because I don't have space actually. Alright, number 3. This is a listening check. Color in corresponding. Angle RTU, which is the same one as we just wrote right there, which is going to be angle 2, plus the measure of angle UTW, so we need to measure that UTW, that's going to be 3, is equal to 180. And now measures have to do with numbers. Why is 1 and 3, when you add those two numbers together, why are they equal to 180? Because they're angles forming linear pair sums. They're angles forming linear pair sums. That's why when you add the two numbers, they're going to equal 180. Alright, so then we have 4, the measure of UTW, which UTW was used in the previous one, which is 3. And then the measure of TWX, which was used before, is 1, is equal to 180. Now, why is that? Well, let me go back to my notes and see what I have for options. So it's not reflexive, it's not symmetric, it's not transitive. I'm going to check if it's substitution. So substitution says if 1 is 2, and then 2 plus 3 is 180, and I can substitute 1 for 2 right there. So now it will be 3 and 1 is 180, so that works. So that's going to be substitution. Alright, final example. RUT and QRU are supplementary, so that's given. RUT, we're going to measure of RUT. So we're going to say RUT, that's going to be 1. So the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of QRU, so that's going to be angle 2, is equal to 180. And then why is that true? Why is 1 plus 2 equal to 180? Well, you just told me they're supplementary, so obviously it's because it's the definition of supplementary. This is a listening check. Color in angle 1 and 2 are supplementary, what I just wrote down. So if you tell me something is supplementary, what does that mean? It means when you add them together, they're going to equal to 180. So it's a definition of supplementary. So again, proofs is just saying why. All right, number 3, measure of PRQ. PRQ, let's label that 3. Plus the measure of QRU, we've already used QRU, so that's 2, equals 180. Why is 3 plus 2 equal to 180? Angles forming a linear pair. Remember, 2 angles on a straight line form a linear pair which add up to 180. Alright, measure of RUT, which we've already used as 1, so measure of angle 1, plus the measure of QRU, which we've already used as 2, equals measure of PRQ, which we used as 3, plus QRU, which we've used as 2. Alright, so measure of 1 plus 2 is 180, and 3 plus 2 is 180. So we're going to transfer that and conclude that the measure of 1 plus 2 is the same as measure of 3 plus 2 because they're both equal to 180. So that's a transitive property. This is a listening check. Underline transitive property. Now, is it equality or congruence? Remember, equality has numbers, congruence doesn't. Because it says measure of, that's referencing a number. So when you see that M, it's measuring a number. So transitive property of equality. And then finally, RUT, which we know is measure 1, is equal to PRQ, which we know is measure 3. Why is that true? Well, if you look at the line before that, you have angle 2, or the measure of angle 2 on both of them. And if you take that across the river, it cancels out. So that's just simple algebra. And then finally, why are they parallel to one another? Why is the line QS parallel to TV? Alright, so because of 1 and 3 being congruent, that's why it's parallel. So that's got to do with it being corresponding. But here's the trick. Whenever you're proving parallel lines, it's going to be converse corresponding. But when you start off with parallel lines, it's regular corresponding. So converse is when you end with it being parallel lines. Alright, and so that's pretty much it. So let's practice.